Hey guys, I am late on this. We are doing Turning Red. So quick little bit of what's going on. Turning Red came out on I believe it was the 11th. I cannot think lately. I am sorry. I've been, like I said, a hot mess. Yes, it came out March 11th. It's we actually watched it a few times. It's really cute. Love it. I love red pandas, but I thought it had so many amazing elements. It definitely got some interesting reviews. A lot of people were mixed because it was more towards middle schoolers, which I can understand. My child is not in middle school, but we enjoyed it. There were things like they did talk about a little bit about, that time of the month for women. Not in too much of a great detail, but like, hey, this does happen around this age and things like that. But I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's actually great to normalize those things because truth is that's how we live. Women go through this period of our time, right? Puberty. We go through puberty and we get periods. Like, let's normalize that. Anywho, there were some other things that, certain individuals more on the more religious side tend to be like, yeah, this is not Christian and we don't like this movie and blah blah blah. Look, if that's not for you, cool. Not for you. I'm going to be talking about the Easter eggs here. So if you want to watch that part, that's fine. But I will say I love the movie. I think it was fun. I think it had a lot of good lessons. I thought it brought in a different culture. It's the first Disney film set in Canada, by the way. Pretty cool, right? Represents for Canada Day, which is not anytime soon, but whatever. Um, so I thought it was fantastic, and I know I'm late on these Easter eggs, but we're gonna get into it because there's some important things, and I really want to dive into a little bit on the theory that I'm kind of considering. This is not a theory video, but I will do a full theory video in the future on this. The movie starts out with, these older pictures, and they're talking about as her life was growing up and the need to be perfect, and a lot about the Asian culture and how close she is with her parents, especially her mom. Um, as you can see, they're in Toronto, and then it shoots to, or I should say, transitions to Mei Ling is on her way to school. And I think this is where a lot of people get upset, where it says, she feels like she's an adult because of this, this bus pass. But here's the thing. Kids want to feel important, and when they feel like they're treated as a grown-up, even though they're not, that's big. She's not saying she's actually an adult. She's saying she feels more responsible because she's now deemed an adult by that bus pass. That's all it's saying. Anywho, as she's on her way to school, she tries to mimic some people, including this man next to her. Anyway, this title scene really reminds me of Vivo, which is not Disney, but it's definitely giving me those vibes, that fun, like, yeah, we're kids, yeah, we're dancing. Oh, by the way, this is set in 2002 Toronto, Canada. So there's gonna be some flashbacks to your childhood if you grew up back then. Anyway, so she has 4 friends. We've got um, Miriam and Abby and Priya, who's reading a Twilight Easter egg. I know, crazy, right? Anyway, Abby's going crazy on the boys because they're making fun of her. This little scene when she is going off on her flute is an Easter egg to Soul, because back in Soul, they were really enjoying. Joe Gardner was really enjoying his music, and she went with it. So it was kind of like that. He was also a middle school, I think he was middle school music teacher. So yeah. Anyway, as girls do, they have their crushes, and one of their crushes is this guy. But they're also crushing on this band who, um, it's actually the Backstreet Boys. Although originally when I was watching this, it really felt more like BTS, but it turns out it's really a Backstreet Boys Easter egg. So just wanted to put that out there. There are 5 of them. Lovely, aren't they? But yeah, so, a lot of people were upset that, these friends were influencing Mei Ling. There are a few hidden Mickeys, like in the fruit, typical. You'll see the red pandas. The red panda was very significant to her family, and that is why, as you have seen in the commercials or the trailers, that she turns into a red panda. Anyway, so in the Asian culture, in this particular Chinese culture, they keep this temple and they pray to them, and you'll see all of these very Asian influences, of course, because Asia. But you'll see some hidden Mickeys within the roof, as well as the lily pads. Yeah. Anyway, so Mei Ling is the assistant temple keeper with her mom, and they talk about the story of their ancestor, and how the ancestor had like worshipped animals and all of that. Now, Mei Ling is always a perfectionist because of the parents. It is something that is very big in the Asian culture. You can talk to, you know, people who have experienced this, and they will tell you like the need to be perfect is there. The need to not like screw up. This is also something that's very big as an adoptee. She's not adopted. I want to make that clear. She is not adopted, but it's something else that we experience. But in this case, she gets to know her heritage, and it is a curse that she turns into this giant red panda. Now, as you'll hear a little bit at the end of this video, you will hear a little bit of a theory, but she ends up having to embrace this red panda curse. And she has fun with it. She's having a blast. They're dancing. They're making jokes. They're making merch. Um, they're just they're living the life, even though she's young. But her family wants her to curse it out. And that's where this comes into play, the family dynamic. They're like, you have to get rid of it, you have to control it. But she doesn't want to. She wants to continue to embrace it. She wants to be different. She wants to step out of that world. And so we see her enter this area where she has to deal with it, and she just wants to go to the concert, which of course is at the same time as this whole thing happening. So she stops the procedure. She goes to the concert to be with her friends, and here comes her giant of a mother, who also is a red panda. And so are her aunts and her grandma, and together, plus everyone else there, turns out to help transition the mom back into a human and letting her release it. And everyone's like really cool to witness it. But they get control and they work through it. Now, while they're working in their astro selves, you'll see that Mei Ling finds a child version of her mom. She has to speak to her the mother's inner child, and that really helps. Now, this is something I'm doing on my other channel, working on your inner child as an adoptee. Not related, but if you, it's something that needs to happen and break generational curses, and that's exactly what Mei Ling does. She says, I am not going to get rid of my panda self. I'm going to embrace it. If you want to do that, that is fine. So they finally accept it and they move on. And as you know, that everyone has something a little red panda, um, just in case they need to release it again. It's kind of cute. Anyway, it was a great movie, and I hope you all enjoyed the fun Easter eggs we just shared. Okay, so that was fun. Tons of Easter eggs. I also want to note that, like, how does this fit into the Pixar theory? Because this is a Pixar movie. Well, I mean, Meili, she turned into a panda. She turned into this animal. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe these animals, these talking animals, were actually humans. Now, we do see a little bit of that in Brave, right? So in Brave, which we're going to actually cover shortly, the mom turned into a bear, and Mordu did as well. But if they didn't solve the issue within 3 days, they would stay a bear. So this kind of makes me think, okay, someone had the magic to figure it out. They can separate themselves from that animal. They can turn into it as needed, but the crystals hold the power. There's got to be something about that. There's definitely some good theory on this, in terms of this is where it is along the lines and the magic. Anyway, that was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys very soon for more Pixar movie magic.